Malaysian 370, contact Ho Chi Minh 120.9. Good night.
Good night, Malaysian 370.
Breaking news tonight, a Malaysia Airlines flight with 239 people on board, including 4 Americans, has gone missing.
Scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. Vishnu is trying to persuade the prince that he should do his duty, and to impress him takes on his multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds."
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the live stream. Happy Friday, or maybe early Saturday if you guys are somewhere on the other side of the world. Guys, welcome to the live stream. I wasn't planning on live streaming, but if you've been watching the social media drama that's been going on in the last 30 minutes or so, I had to get on. I got fired up, just got in a little beef with Christopher Mellon, the Christopher Mellon from the Mellon family. Finally replied to one of my posts. We're going to dig into it. We're going to take a look at it. We're also going to watch another side video that I've got queued up. And I'm just going to answer some questions. So today is going to be a lot of rants. It's not going to be your typical Friday. It's not going to be Free Energy Friday. It's going to basically be Ashton Rants on the UFO Community Friday. So get excited for it. I was also watching the Stan Deyo, or listening to the Stan Deyo interview, and the whistleblower, the alien whistleblower guy, I think he just goes by whistleblower. I don't know what his real name is. He's in a space right now as well. We might even jump in there. I don't know. We'll see. So, first off, let's just get started with this, chat. I'm a normal guy. I was never in the UFO community. I was never in the conspiracy community or any of this stuff before like a year ago. August of last year is when I came onto the scene. I started doing podcasts and interviews in late September and early October. So it's been a little over a year and 3 months that I've been looking into this. I came in with no preconceived notions whatsoever. I had no idea who anybody was in the UFO community whatsoever. I listened to people hating on other people. I saw all this drama going on, and I did not let it determine what my opinion was going to be. So for the last year, I've been researching and looking into all the UFO mythology, lore, the science, and everything around it. And what I have concluded is that there is a concerted effort by a group of connected individuals within the UFO community to spread and paint a false narrative of the phenomenon. And my opinion for the reason why they're doing this is to protect the Five Eyes countries and the United States intelligence apparatus that is hiding the technology from us. Let me repeat that. What I am saying is there is a group of UFO disclosure advocates who are conspiring to prevent the public from learning the truth about the fact that we have figured out gravity manipulation and that free energy is possible, and it's been possible for decades. I'm not talking like we figured it out a couple years ago. I'm talking about we have figured it out for decades. And these disclosure people, some of them you see testifying to Congress, are quite literally telling half-truths to the American people and to Congress to keep them in the dark and make sure that we never understand the depths of which we're being lied to. Instead, what they want to do is they want to paint the narrative that it's aliens. It's the aliens. They have some magical technology. Humans can't possibly understand it. We're just lowly, stupid humans. We can't possibly understand alien technology. It's breaking the laws of physics. This is the bullshit that they're pushing. Now, if they aren't pushing it intentionally, then they're just fucking idiots, which is also possible. It's actually possible they're all just fucking retards. That is possible. It turns out the other thing I've realized about the UFO community is less than 1% of them understands even the basics about physics and science. Most of them couldn't tell you the difference between a supercapacitor and a superconductor. By the way, a supercapacitor is basically a battery that can dispel charge very quickly. A superconductor, on the other hand, is something that conducts electricity perfectly so that there's a quantum phenomenon happening. Anybody that can't tell you the difference between those two things, you shouldn't be listening to at all when it comes to the UFO phenomenon because they have no fucking clue what they're talking about. That's just basic physics, basic science that's going on. Would I go in front? Thank you for the donation. First donation of the night, by the way. Would I go in front of Congress? Of course I would go in front of Congress. I would fucking red pill half the country. Are you kidding me? I'm also not afraid of going to court either with anybody about any of this shit. Because I have so much evidence that's actually based in logic and reason and not just based on nonsense speculation. Evidence that would actually be compelling in the court of law to jurors. So the fact that the MH370 videos, let me play these videos on the side. These videos have been getting ignored by the entire UFO community and all of the UFO disclosure advocates that are out there. Where's my videos, chat? Where are they at? And this is the weirdest part. Where is it? That's a side-by-side orientation. Whatever. I'll play this other side-by-side one. This isn't the greatest one. The other one's better. These videos. Oh, and by the way, I fixed my thing here. Look at that. Look at that, chat. Wait, that's not the one I wanted. There, look at that. Look at that. You guys excited? Look at me upgrading my live stream. Look at this. You excited for this? Okay. The UFO community has been ignoring these videos. These are by far the most important, most significant UFO videos in the history of the world, and it's not even remotely close. There's actually never been UFO videos where you have two videos from two different angles, both military footage. That's never existed before these videos. Most of the videos that you see out there are from some random person with some low-grade commercial camera. These are the most expensive surveillance apparatus and most high-quality surveillance apparatus that existed in 2014. So the question everybody should be asking, there's two major questions that people should be asking. And by the way, you don't recognize my new glasses? Chat. You don't recognize these are black. The other ones were blue. Hold on. I'm upset that nobody gave me a shout out for my new glasses. Come on, guys. Wow. I'm actually just disappointed. These look the same to you? They actually are extremely similar. Now that I look at it, it's actually hard to tell the difference. There is a difference though, chat. There is a difference. Okay. So let's get into the drama, chat. Oh, also before that, let me show you my other glasses. We're just going to do a little, fashion show here. Fashion show, guys. By the way, these glasses were expensive as shit. It turns out my insurance with my company is amazing. Even the people at the eye care store were like, you have better insurance than we have. And I was like, oh, okay. Give me the best ones. Give me all the best shit. So these glasses, they got the best shit on them. There's no glare. There's no reflection. I can basically see through walls with these glasses. Here's my other ones. Oh, yeah. Oh, should we just stream like this tonight? Maybe we just stream like this tonight, chat. Okay. We might just stream like this. Okay, guys, let's get into the drama. Chris Mellon. Actually, you know what's bugging me is that you can see the reflection of my computer screens here. So I don't like that. Let's save that for later. Okay. Next time, guys. Yeah, glasses are a scam. Okay, so anyway, I'm just minding my own business, as a regular guy, what have you. And I'm looking around and I see Chris Mellon stuff. I follow all these UFO people because I want to hear what bullshit they're saying, right? I want to hear what bullshit they're saying. And hold on, let's get to it here. Where is it? Oh man, we gotta dig through the drama. Okay, let me just bring it up. Let's just bring it up. Remove this. Oops. Jesus, man. By the way, guys, we are gonna cook Chris Mellon tonight. Pretty hard. We're gonna cook him pretty hard. And he kind of asked for it. So it is what it is. So the other thing I want to point out is, hey, so not only have, oh wait, I think I have another view. Hold on. What's my other one? Oh yeah, look at this one. It's kind of small. I was working on my views, guys. Okay. Where's this one? Okay, that's the one. Okay. So I was following Chris Mellon stuff. This guy always posts just random bullshit where he's sucking off his other UFO people. Like every time, whenever I check this guy's content, all I see from people like Chris Mellon are, oh, check out my buddy Mon V. Ren. Check out my buddy Jeremy Corbell and his awesome article that he just wrote up. And I go look these guys up, and they're just a bunch of fucking losers. No disrespect to Mon V. Ren, but this guy like beefs with Mick West on the regular. Like, dude, why are you trying to get acknowledgement from some fucking loser like Mick West who got too many boosters and writes fake articles for the Skeptical Inquirer? Like, why are these people even entertaining some of these people? And these articles, it's like, what is this dog shit? Like, it's no wonder that the UFO community has never accomplished anything. And when I say that, let me repeat that. The UFO community has never accomplished anything, ever. They've never gotten aliens revealed. They've never revealed a single fucking piece of technology ever before. They've accomplished absolutely nothing ever in their whole existence. And we're supposed to sit here and glaze them over their garbage slop that they keep putting out. It's just more slop. Like, what even is this? SecDef Austin on UFO following up to some dude's testimony? There are things that happen, that have happened, and probably will continue to happen that are difficult to explain. What the fuck is that? This is the most nonsense quote I've ever read in my life. There are things that happen, that have happened, and probably will continue to happen that are difficult to explain. What is this slop? This is nothing. Why don't you ask a real fucking question to somebody and get a real answer for once? Being like, oh, things are happening and they've happened before and they're continuing to happen. This is the fakest shit that I've ever seen in my whole life. Nobody's trying to reveal the truth here. It's just word salad, exactly. And these people eat it up. People like Chris Mellon and these other people, they just eat it up. It's all nonsense. It's nothing. It provides no information whatsoever. Do they ever ask any hard questions? Nope. Nope. Never ask any hard questions ever. So here's my reply. Quite reasonable, if I will say. People are tired of the carrot that you keep dangling. If you were transparent, you'd just state exactly what you know instead of this fucking game that they're playing here. Chris Mellon sits here and says over and over again, it must be aliens. Only aliens explain this phenomenon. Okay, what do you know? I'm listening. What do you know? How are they getting here? How are the aliens getting here from Zeta Reticuli? Huh? How are the aliens getting here? Let's just keep it real simple. In fact, what power source are they using to get here from Zeta Reticuli, which is over 40 light years away, by the way? Let's just talk basic physics. How come nobody in this community wants to talk basic physics? Instead, they want to sit here and tell you, oh, you got sexually assaulted by an alien? Oh, that was probably a Nordic. They're known for being very rapey. Like, seriously, these people are fucking obsessed with aliens sexually assaulting them. It's just bizarre, man. Like maybe they need to go to Blue Sky and go over there with all the other pedophiles or whatever other weird shit they got going on. So it turns out somebody says, well, what is this exactly? The carrot. What is the carrot? Like, do I really have to answer that question? The carrot at this point is pretty obvious. The carrot is the aliens are coming to save us. It's all about the aliens. We can't understand this technology. And I make the joke about just waiting 2 more weeks. Why? Because they keep saying that it's going to get disclosed. Oh, look for 2024. Oh, nope. Now look at 2025. Oh, nope. Now it's 2027. It's literally the same bullshit they did with COVID, where it's like 2 more weeks to slow the spread. Herder. And everybody's just fucking lying to you on national television. All the politicians are lying to you. They're making up. They literally change like infected rates to case rates. And now people don't even have to have a test to be sick anymore. This is the same bullshit they're doing with the alien stuff. Yeah, we'll tell the alien it's coming. It's right around the corner. Right around the corner. And you're like, hey, like, who are Chris Mellon? Who are you? You're like, who exactly? Let me just Google who Chris Mellon is. Right? So you look him up. You just look up this dude's Wikipedia right off the bat. It's like, let's just find out who Chris Mellon is so we can have some idea of, should we be listening to whatever this guy is saying? He worked as a private equity investor in 2023. He was the Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Intelligence in the Clinton and George Bush administrations. I'm sorry, but if you were to give me any administrations which I would respect less, I couldn't name any. Clinton and George W. Bush, if that's where you come from, then shit, man, I'm not somebody who's all in on the deep state, but you fucking define deep state. Dick Cheney endorsed Kamala Harris. Dick Cheney did. So when you look at this, you go, you support the Clintons and the Bushes? Those are like the worst possible people that you could be supporting for me to believe any of the shit that you have to say. No, it's worse than that. It turns out Chris Mellon is also full Trump derangement syndrome. Somebody posted a link in one of these Twitter posts. I don't know which one it is. We'll probably find it as we dig through it here. That basically showed that Chris Mellon is a rhino, a Republican in name only, who was a never Trumper. So it turns out, guys, why am I bringing this up? You say, okay, why are you bringing up which administrations he was with? Because it turns out all of these people in the UFO community, who are all the ones you see on mainstream television over and over and over and over again, are all far left-wing nut jobs politically. All of them are. I think it's important to point that out because it shows their inherent bias. They are all far left-wing nut jobs. Your political affiliation doesn't actually really matter, but it matters when you are colluding and conspiring with other people to push a narrative out there and to subvert the elected president of the United States, who's quite literally trying to remove you from power. President Trump is quite literally trying to remove the deep state, and the deep state doesn't want Tulsi Gabbard to be confirmed as the director of national intelligence. Why would people like Chris Mellon not want Tulsi Gabbard? Why would they not want someone like Tulsi Gabbard? I'm sorry, I'm getting used to these buttons here. Why would they not want someone like her to be confirmed to Director of National Intelligence? Why? Well, who is the current Director of National Intelligence? The current Director of National Intelligence is Avril Haines, however you say her name. Turns out she was the one during the Obama administration that was justifying the drone strikes on innocent civilians. You heard that correctly. Let me go full screen. Avril Haines, the current DNI, was the one justifying drone strikes in the Obama era on innocent civilians. I'm going to say it one more time. Avril Haines, the current DNI, was the one justifying drone strikes on innocent civilians under Obama. Now she's director of national intelligence. Can you come up with any reasons why the deep state wouldn't want Tulsi Gabbard to pick up the role of director of national intelligence? Probably because they'll have to tell her that we're out there committing covert actions against civilian airliners. And that we've got orb technology that can fucking teleport an airplane. You can't really get a grip on something that significant. That's the kind of stuff that quite literally just breaks people's minds. You tell people, oh yeah, by the way, we've developed some plasma orb technology and we can jam them together and we can teleport an airplane. This is why they don't want to tell Tulsi Gabbard about this. Because if they tell Tulsi Gabbard about this, then there's somebody else who can expose them. There's somebody else that can expose them. And what I want to say is this. We're going to go back into some of the other tweets here. I am going to expose every motherfucker in the UFO community. I'm going to expose academia. I'm going to expose the media. I'm going to expose all these people. And I'm going to enjoy every minute of it. I am not a typical influencer. I'm not the guy out there who's worried about my PR and what impression I'm giving off out there. No. I'm just a normal dude that wants real disclosure. I want the truth for what is going on. I don't care how dark it is. I don't care what it means for our civilization. I don't care about any of that crap. I don't care if the aliens are going to teleport in right now and bomb us back to the Stone Age. You give me the truth, unadulterated. I don't want to hear any half-truths. The American people deserve to know where our trillions of dollars of money is going that is not being able to be found by any audits. We deserve that. Oh, he's actually watching. You know, cheers, chat. Oh, wow. I think we've gotten to him, chat. I think we've gotten to him. Hold on. Real-time update, chat. Don't worry. We're getting back to it. Chris Mellon, if you're out there watching, brother, blocking me was the biggest mistake you've ever made in your life, man. Biggest mistake. And I don't even mean this from a personal perspective. I just mean it like, if you thought I went hard on you before, I'm quite literally going to go 1,000 times harder on you now. And you can tell all your buddies too, I'm also going to come down on them as well. I'm also coming down on them as well. Lou Elizondo, Jeremy Corbell, George Knapp, Ross Colhart, you should all be deathly afraid. I am going to be coming down on you guys on every single podcast I do. I'm going to watch every tweet that you post. Doesn't even matter if you block me. I can still see them. I'm just going to screenshot them. I'm going to expose all your fucking bullshit that you've been peddling. I'm going to make sure that nobody in Congress ever wants to talk to you guys ever again. That Congress realizes that you guys are peddling disinformation to them, that you've been denying the truth about the energy source and what this UFO phenomenon is all about. I'm going to make sure that nobody in Congress ever trusts Chris Mellon, Jeremy Corbell, George Knapp, any of these other fucking clowns. It's all about the pageantry with these people. They want to be in the front row of the UFO, testimony that's happening. For these people, it's all about the appearances. They want to look cool. They want people to accept them. Not me. I don't give a shit if people hate me. I don't care if people accept me. All I want is the truth. Simple as that. So it looks like we got a response from our live stream. Look at, oh man, I'm still getting used to these. Here's a link to my Substack for anyone interested. Currently working on a new piece about potential steps for Congress to take regarding the UAP issue. This is what I'm talking about, man. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Literally, Chris Mellon's literally never accomplished anything before in the UFO community. And what is he working on? What's his big project right now? He's working on a new piece. He's working on a new article for mainstream media about the potential steps that Congress should take for the UAP hearing, for the UAP phenomenon. I've got an answer for that. How about they, have me testify about MH370? Let's testify to the fact that the United States government knows what happened to a Boeing 777 that's been missing for 10 years. And we can prove it because we know all about their space-based infrared system. In fact, I have a network engineer who built the space-based infrared system who says he's 100% sure that this video is the space-based infrared system. Let me repeat that. I have an actual whistleblower who I've spoken to on the phone personally, who is a network engineer that worked on the real Cyber system in the late 90s and says that this video is the Cyber system. How about I testify on that? How's that for next steps in the UFO disclosure community for the Congress? Or how about we have Salvatore Pais? Why is he not testifying? The guy literally has 5 patents where the Navy had to jump in and tell the patent officer, yep, this is real, this is operable. Operable. Just in case Chris Mellon doesn't know what operable means they've built one. Now, Salvatore Pais countered that claim and said that the technology was enabled, which means that it is possible to build. Well, if you look at his technology, it's cold fusion, it's 0-point energy, it's anti-gravity, it's inertia reduction, all the observables. Why don't we have Salvatore Pais testify to Congress? You know what? Why don't both of us testify to Congress together? Heck, we can explain to Congress what we're seeing in this video right here. Because the people that think that there's aliens visiting us, how the hell are they getting here? Well, it turns out play it again. That's one of the ways that the aliens are getting here. If they can teleport, then they can get here. Simple as that. Now, the other thing, too, is this cult of personality that's been developed around these people. The thing that sickens me the most is that these UFO people have built this cult of personality around them, and they are deathly afraid of being seen as conspiracy theorists. They literally took their political ideology and they wrap themselves around it with it. And they think that for them, the biggest thing for these UFO frauds that are out there is what people think about them. That's what they care about more than anything. You think they care about disclosure? They don't give a shit about disclosure. What they care about is they want you to think highly of them. That's what they want you to think. Worse than that, people like Chris Mellon are just complete, unabashed narcissists. This guy, you can tell that Chris Mellon grew up with a silver spoon in his mouth. You can tell just from reading any of his comments, literally any of them. So let's go ahead and see how this played out. Because here's the thing. I thought I was being very kind to somebody who is clearly disingenuous and obfuscating the truth. Chris Mellon is being absolutely disingenuous. He's out here selling news articles, pushing misinformation onto people, trying to spread a narrative that is simply not true. Spreading a narrative that humans could not have figured this technology out, absolutely untrue. This guy knows Hal Puthoff. And if you know Hal Puthoff, then you know that the science is real. I've read all of Hal Puthoff's papers. So let's go look at my comments here, right? So I see this comment. And then I mentioned the carrot on the stick. And then Chris Mellon replies to the other guy. I don't think he's being literal. I think he's generally referring to all the times I've talked about how I definitely know there is no other explanation, and also all of the claims I made about timing and also about their motive. I'm not even sure how to interpret that, but the way that I interpret that is that Chris Mellon absolutely believes that aliens are the only answer. Which is funny because here's the thing. As far as I can tell, nobody has ever actually seen any of these aliens. I know experiencers. I know you guys have, right? These UFO community people, none of them have ever actually seen an alien before. None of them have. Lou Elizondo, Jeremy Corbell, George Knapp, Ross Coulthart, Chris Mellon. None of these people have ever seen an alien before. I think they would all admit that. None of them have. And yet, yeah, unless it's an illegal alien. Unless it's an illegal alien. And yet, yeah, so maybe he's just being sarcastic here. I don't know. End of the day. I assume maybe he's just being sarcastic. But I actually believe that's what his opinion is. Like, no question. And so this was my reply. I don't know what's up with your UFO influencer crew, but I don't trust any of you. My research shows we've definitely figured out gravity and zero-point energy. Heck, your bud, Hal Puthoff, is the main scientist who's proven it since 1987. I'm supposed to believe you're not aware of his extensive papers? It's not like Hal Puthoff has 1 or 2 papers. He's got like 24 scientific papers since 1987, all on the same topic. All on zero-point energy, extracting energy, warp drives, whatever. I'm convinced you are telling half-truths to protect national security of the Five Eyes who have weaponized this technology. Now, let's just go through that. That is not an unreasonable statement. If there are aliens visiting us and we've picked up their technology, of course we're reverse engineering it. That's not even controversial. Is it controversial to think that we could have figured it out? Well, Roswell was 1947. 1947, guys. That is almost 80 years ago. Almost 70, more than 75 years ago. You're telling me in 75 years we couldn't figure out the physics? I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. So even if you're somebody that thinks that Roswell was aliens that crashed or whatever bullshit, you know, I mean, it could be real. I don't know. There's just no chance we haven't figured out the technology. No chance. After 75 years? And this is the bullshit that people like Chris Mellon want to push on us. They want to go, we couldn't figure it out. It's beyond human comprehension. I can't tell if Chris Mellon's a fucking retard that just doesn't understand science or if he actually believes the bullshit that he's spewing. It's actually possible that some of these people really believe the bullshit they're spewing, that they're just so fucking stupid that they know so little about science that they actually believe that it just has to be aliens. Humans can't understand it. Humans can't understand physics. This is the part that's so important. There is no such thing as physics that humans can't understand, because physics is just literally explaining observable reality. That's all it is. Explaining observable reality. So if you're saying there's some physics out there, that means there's some observational thing that we can see. We can understand it if we can see it. How can I be absolutely certain about that? Because just from watching this clip, I was able to figure it out. And I'm just a normal guy. So if I can figure out alien technology from watching one drone thermal video, just one video. Keep in mind, there's allegedly hundreds, if not thousands of videos like this that the government has. Then, of course, anyone can figure it out. Humans can, of course, figure it out. It's absurd to think that humans can't understand this technology. Right? Absolutely absurd. So then, I realize I'm coming off harsh. I don't think I'm coming off unfairly. This post right here is a natural skeptic. This is me being skeptical of a guy who's pushing stories with no evidence at all. The guy was literally in the intelligence community under Bush and Clinton. Why isn't he just saying what he knows? Why doesn't he become a whistleblower? Why isn't he testifying to Congress? The only conclusion I can make is that he himself is an intelligence asset, an active intelligence asset. That's the only conclusion I can make based on Chris Mellon's story. So I throw out here, though, tell me I'm wrong. You all are so afraid of the MH370 videos, and this is the only conclusion I can come up with why. Why would someone not want to talk about the most compelling UFO videos in the history of the world? And it's not even close. It's not even close. There literally isn't a number 2 on the hierarchy. This video alone is the most compelling UFO video ever in the history of the world. It's not close. The next closest thing is probably the Tic Tac video. And that has nothing on this video. So why would a guy that is worked in intelligence under Bush and Clinton, that wants everybody to believe that it's aliens, even though this video indicates that this is a human operation, not an alien operation, a human one? Why would he not want to? Why do they not even put an on the record statement? Like, if you thought the video was fake, wouldn't you want to go on the record and say that you believe the video is fake? I mean, you're a literal intelligence asset. But no, they won't say anything about it. That's the weirdest part. If the MH370 videos were fake, these UFO people would be lining up to say that they're fake, to go on the record that they're fake, and to explain why they're fake and how they know they're fake. Instead, none of them will make any statements ever. They won't even talk about the videos. They won't even mention my name. That's the weirdest part. That's the weirdest part. Why would they not want to even bring the videos up? They claim to be for UFO disclosure. Why would they not want to bring up the most compelling UFO videos ever? The answer is simple. The videos are real. They might even know the videos are real. That's the only reason why they're not talking about the videos. The only reason that someone like Chris Mellon won't come out and say that those videos are fake is because when the videos are confirmed to be real, it would be the end of his life and his career. That's the reason why all of these UFO people are desperate to not talk about the videos and not talk about me. They know the videos are real, and if they lie about it, then they are going to lose their careers for the rest of their life. And here's the spoiler. I truly hope Chris Mellon's watching right now. I hope you're watching, Chris Mellon, and Jeremy Corbell and all you other guys. I know you guys monitor social media. I know the game you guys play. All your guys' games are outdated, and I know them all. You have no chance against me in social media. No chance. It's like a professional playing against like the women's amateur team. You guys have no concept of how social media works. You have no chance against me in social media. I am going to expose the shit out of you guys either way. I'm going to expose the shit out of you guys either way. When the MH370 videos are confirmed and accepted to be true, I am going to rake, not just the debunkers. Like I've already said many times, I'm going to ruin the lives of the debunkers for the rest of their natural lives. I've said that, and I promise that I will do that. I'm also going to destroy these UFO alien people as well. I'm going to destroy all sides. I'm going to completely destroy the entire UFO community. That's the plan. I'm going to destroy the entire UFO community. And we'll rebuild it as something new. Something that isn't just filled with grifters and scammers. Something that's actually based around science. I'm going to show people another way. That we don't have to just assume that aliens are just unknowable and they're out there, but we never see them. That humans can have figured out gravity manipulation. Humans can have figured out 0-point energy technology. That's what we're going to show. The ZPE community, exactly. The ZPE community. And when those videos are confirmed, I'm going to make sure that everybody in the world knows that all these UFO disclosure people are complete frauds. And they've been frauds their entire lives. I'm going to make sure that people know that the debunkers are frauds. But everybody knows the debunkers are frauds anyway. The part that's really going to shock people is when they find out that their trusted UFO disclosure advocates have been completely full of shit the entire time. That they've been selling them a completely fake narrative. And the worst part is this. Not only have they been selling them a fake narrative about the alien invasion or whatever other bullshit, but that they've been doing it because they've been protecting the government. They've not only just been selling a fake narrative, they've been doing it to protect the government. That is just the worst part about it. And this is going to feed into the next part about this back and forth right here. Okay. So his response to this completely reasonable post is close. You're missing out on the Tupac angle. I'm missing out on the Tupac angle? What is this weird boomer joke? What is this supposed to even fucking mean? Like, this is the part where you realize, like, this is me punching down. This is me, like, having an internet fight with my dad. Like, my dad would have no chance against me on, like, an internet fight. Close. You're missing the Tupac angle. What? I thought my post was quite reasonable and pretty clear in terms of what I was laying out. I'm quite literally saying that my opinion of Chris Mellon is that he's a fraud and a phony, and he's pushing a fake narrative, and that he knows more information that he's not telling us. And I even opened the door and said, tell me that I'm wrong. Tell me that I'm wrong. That's what somebody says when they're open to being corrected. They say, hey, if I'm wrong, tell me. How am I wrong? So his response is, you're missing the Tupac angle. So again, I can't really tell what Chris Mellon's trying to say here. I don't know if he's like had too many drinks tonight or whatever it is. But I think that what he's trying to say is, oh, you believe in conspiracies. I think. Because I think there's a conspiracy that Tupac might be alive or something like that. Is that what he means, guys? Let's assume that's what he means. Let's assume that he means, oh, you believe in conspiracies. Yeah, he's calling me a conspiracy kook, right? This is the biggest hypocrisy that I've ever seen in my whole life. Chris Mellon is a literal alien nut job that thinks that that it must be aliens out there. It must be aliens that figured out this technology. Humans can't understand science. He thinks that the United States government is perpetuating the largest conspiracy ever to hide extraterrestrial life from the world for 70 or 80 years. He thinks that the biggest conspiracy ever, that the United States government is hiding extraterrestrial life from the American people. But you're going to try to make fun of me for being a conspiracy theorist? Well, let me break it down for you, Chris Mellon. I'm going to break it down. Beyond any shadow of a doubt, MH370, Malaysian Airlines Flight 370, was taken by the United States government. Not just that. The Five Eyes know what happened to the plane. I'm talking UK. I'm talking Australia. They know exactly what happened to that plane. The whole search was just some bullshit cover where we spent hundreds of millions of dollars on a wild goose chase that we knew would never accomplish anything. MH370 is a real conspiracy. It's actually real. We know for a shot, beyond any doubt, no doubt whatsoever, 100% certainty, United States government knows exactly what happened to that airplane. That's a conspiracy. When you cover up what happened to a Boeing 777, a commercial airliner that disappeared 10 years ago, that's a criminal conspiracy. That's a real one. The idea that the government is hiding aliens from the world, That conspiracy has no basis in reality. No basis in reality. There's no evidence to support it. The evidence seems to be there's weird stuff flying around in the sky. It must be aliens. That seems to be the evidence. If somebody can show me a video of aliens communicating with the government and conspiring, I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it. Let me be straight about this. This does not mean that aliens aren't real. It just means there's no actual real evidence that the government's hiding alien life. There isn't any. There isn't any. We are making assumptions. We're making assumptions that we're seeing weird stuff flying around and we can't understand it, therefore it must be aliens. That is where we're going wrong here. That's where we're going wrong. So what do I want you people to do? I want you guys to press Chris Mellon and all these other people. If they thought things were bad before, just wait until everybody in their replies is asking what the energy source of UFOs is and how aliens could get here from Andromeda Galaxy or Alpha Centauri. The way we defeat them is this. You push real questions that force Chris Mellon to answer honestly. You say, hey, Chris, what's the energy source of UFOs? What is it? You think he doesn't know? Come on, man. Okay, let's go back to this. Oh, let me hit some of these donations. You guys have been popping off. Okay, let me do the donations real quick. Why not have a group effort to reach out to Nancy Mace? So here's the other thing. These guys control Congress. This is why I'm saying, like, there's a quite literal conspiracy of this UFO community people. They, through human intelligence, they quite literally control the perceptions of Congress. I know they do. The people that have the ear of Congress are the James Foxes, the Jeremy Corbells, et cetera, et cetera. Even Stephen Greer is basically persona non grata with Congress. What these Chris Mellon type people have done is they've pushed out everybody who's trying to tell the truth to Congress, and they've ensured that Congress only hears the lies and misinformation that they push. Chris Mellon will push the misinformation that it's aliens that are visiting us, and that's what we need to be talking about. But there are some smart people like Eric Burleson, Congressman Eric Burleson, who's been asking about quantum mechanics. He's been asking, why have we not seen technological advancement in the last 50 years? No advancement in propulsion? No advancement in energy over 50 years? It's pretty weird. Almost like maybe we figured something out and we decided to hide it. So that's part of the problem, is that these people control Congress as well. So this is why I've decided to make a hard stand against all of these disclosure advocates who are in this UFO community. I realized many months ago that they're frauds. Like 99.9% of them are complete frauds. They just make shit up nonstop. They have no actual evidence for any of the stuff that they say and any of the stuff they claim. You'll see them, like, the thing they do too is they do a lot of engagement farming. When you read these news articles and stuff that they write, like Chris Mellon's next garbage that he's about to write or whatever, it's going to be a bunch of bullshit where he's just asking questions. It's the same shit that you see UFO or Twitter influencers do, where they go, what do you think about this? Or what do you notice? Right? You hear all this other bullshit. Like, what do you notice? What do you... Or they throw some like little line out there that doesn't have any factual support. They're like, what if the aliens were coming to take over tomorrow? What would we do? Right? They throw that kind of bullshit. It's all engagement farming. That's literally all they ever do. I promise you, now if you go read their like news articles, you will not be able to unsee it anymore. It's quite literally just slop engagement farming garbage that they push repeatedly. They've turned it into a complete industry. Okay. So let's go. Let's finish these posts up here. Okay. Oh, yeah. Nobody gives a shit about your Substack, Chris. Nobody gives a shit about your Substack, brother. Jesus Christ. He's promoting his Substack. Okay. So let's go back to my profile here. So What happened after that? So I wrote that post and I decided, oh, I saw his reply, his stupid Tupac reply. I was like, oh, what's this dumbass Tupac reply? So I decided, this was my thought process. I want to tell you guys my exact thought process. I was like, you know what I'm going to do here? I'm going to let Chris Mellon, and I know those other guys are going to find out too, Jeremy Corbell, Ross Colhart, George Knapp. I promise you guys, if you're being named right now, I am going to end your career. I'm going to make sure that nobody ever listens to anything you say about UFOs for the rest of your lives. It's an absolute promise. I know they're going to get the message. So what I wanted to say was, this is my opinion. This is where I stand. I wrote this tweet right here because I wanted those guys to understand that I'm against you. I'm not on your side. I'm actually not on anybody's side. I'm just on the side of truth. So that was the point of me writing this statement. I wanted them to know exactly where I stand. That's what I wanted to know. So let's see what this post says. I'm just happy that the team, it must be aliens. I can't do the air quotes. Team, it must be aliens isn't pretending like I don't exist anymore. I've noticed your entire crew, Corbell, Knapp, Colhart, Sharp, Elizondo, have all avoided talking about the MH370 videos. It's pretty weird, man. The implications of those videos are alarming. There's never been UFO videos in the public realm like those. I don't have any side when it comes to this UFO stuff. I do my own research and come to my own conclusions. What I've concluded is that there's a concerted effort to paint the phenomenon as aliens and deflect when reverse engineering progress by defense contractors is mentioned. Turns out Ken Shoulders and Hal Puthoff figured out self-organizing sustaining plasma and zero-point energy in the late 80s. You know, all those orbs of light we're seeing in triangle formations. Shoulders was also the father of drone technology. So many coincidences. I didn't even add on here. Turns out Hal Puthoff's patent is also a quantum communication or gravity communication patent for communicating through plasma. What a lot of coincidences. Whenever anyone mentions the energy source, which is obviously zero-point energy and cold fusion, national security is evoked. The Department of Energy is the top dog when it comes to UFO secrecy. Doesn't seem like a coincidence. Even if you're gatekeeping, I'm sure you have your reasons. No hard feelings. That was my whole post. So I saw some notifications right after I made this post. I saw notifications and I went, okay, let's go take a look at those notifications. And one of the things that I noticed was that I couldn't reply. Oh, he deleted his post. Wait, did he delete his post? Wow. Guys, we just made Chris Mellon. Did we just make Chris Mellon delete his whole post? Holy shit, chat. Sorry, it's on the live stream now. It's never going away after that. So, I thought that was quite reasonable. Where I said, hey, man, even if you're a gatekeeper, no hard feelings. Because what I was trying to get across is like, hey, we don't have to agree. I have nothing against the gatekeepers who are lying to the UFO community. I get it. The technology is dangerous. I just wish they'd be honest about it. When they're out here pushing this bullshit about aliens or whatever, they're not being truthful. They're not saying, hey, you guys just can't handle the technology right now. It's just too dangerous. If they just came out and said, hey, man, I don't mean to be mean. I get it. But the reason why we're pushing the alien stuff is the technology is so powerful that it's a threat. It's dangerous. I would respect that. I would respect that. But instead, they don't even want to talk about it. They don't even want to talk about the implications of the technology. This technology, zero-point energy technology, is going to change our whole world. It's going to change our whole world. And they don't even want to talk about it. Let's go look at some comments. Greer's been grifting. God, has the word grifter have any less meaning? grifting the same shit you are. Where's the proof if these things are so simple? Why not just make one and prove it once for all? I have one. I did. I had one. Got one made. Could probably break it out anytime I need to. The first thing you realize when you realize the technology is real is that, holy shit, how have they been able to hide this? That's the first thing you realize. And for Fallon, I'm not trying to put you down here. You are absolutely entitled to your opinions. Absolutely. And I'm going to just tell you the absolute truth. The first thing you realize is, holy shit, how have they been hiding this? And the next thing you realize is, holy shit, they killed like several dozen people who figured this out. Going back to the 60s, 70s. All the people that realized, all people did was look at Einstein's equations and look at quantum mechanics, and they found that energy can be amplified. That's all you need to see, just looking at the equations. And they said, oh, we're going to produce that then. Or the other thing that people realize is, oh, space isn't empty. If space isn't empty, then this changes everything. And what you find out is that we are much better at suppression than what the public understands. It's multi-pronged. Part of it is that we just don't believe anything unless we see it with our own eyes, which is somewhat reasonable. But then the answer is, well, how do you hide it? You just don't let people see it with their eyes. Just don't let people see it with their eyes. Why do you think they won't show us any satellite videos? Because if we see it with our eyes, we're going to believe it. But if we don't ever show anybody anything, they'll never believe it no matter what. Doesn't matter how many scientific papers, doesn't matter the claims. I've shown the Liberty engine, which is an over unity magnetic motor, on my live stream. It's out there. It's got millions of views. They even took it out into the middle of nowhere in the forest and ran a computer, water thing, etc. So when people say, like, why is nobody showing it? People are. People won't accept it being real. That's the problem. That's the craziest part. Here, I even think I have a clip for you right here. Liberty engine. Where's my Liberty engine thing? Wait, what is it? Here it is. Yep. Look, here it is. People say, why does nobody show it? What do you think we're fucking looking at right here? They're in the middle of the forest, and this engine's running by itself. There's no power nearby. They're on the side of the road. There's nowhere to even plug it in. They show the meters. They plug it into power tools. They've got it set up to a water pump out in the middle of the fucking forest. They're running power tools off it. Why are they running power tools? Because these things consume a lot of energy. They even turn their computer on. I mean, you can see it. Where do you think they're hiding the wires? You think they buried the wires underground? So people ask, why is nobody showing it? They have been showing it. They have been. They've been writing scientific papers about it. They've been showing it. It's us that's the problem. We just don't want to believe it because we've been indoctrinated with fake narratives. The same thing that people like Chris Mellon are doing. As long as you're focused on this is magical alien technology, then you don't think twice about how is that fucking generator running in the middle of the forest and powering power tools, a water pump, and a computer simultaneously. How is it doing that? Nobody believes what they see with their eyes because we're so focused on the narratives. Dr. Stephen Greer is right. He's 100% right about the technology. Possibly the best documentary ever made is The Lost Century, because they've been hiding this technology for 100 years. 100 years. And how do they hide it? With people like Chris Mellon. As long as the people that people trust are out there on mainstream TV telling them it's the aliens. It's the aliens. Don't think about it. Humans can't understand this. It's aliens. Then people are never going to get to the truth. And it works way better than what I think anybody expected. It's way easier to lie to people than what people expect. So hopefully that's the answer to that question. Let me burn through a few more of these donations and questions here. Thank you, Bobby's. Appreciate you, brother. Eric Weinstein said that string theory might be a distraction from real physics. Yeah, I think it is. Here's the thing. Here's the thing about string theory. String theory says there's like, I don't even know how many dimensions they're up to. Let's just say it's like 31 dimensions or 11 dimensions, whatever. Why do we need all these dimensions? We only need 5 dimensions. That's the only number of dimensions we need. Now, if somebody wants to give me some complicated calculus or whatever for why they need it, fine. I'm a normal guy, and I'm going, okay, forward and back, 1. Left and right, 2. Up and down, 3 dimensions. Okay, so what's the 4th dimension? Time. Time, the arrow of time. That's a 4th dimension. So what's the 5th dimension? The ether. The sea of energy that we're sitting in. That's at the quantum level that we can't really perceive, but we know it's there experimentally. That's the 5th dimension. That's it. Why do I need any more dimensions than that? That's all the dimensions that I need. So to your question, I think that string theory is some bullshit. I don't know if it's an elaborate conspiracy to throw us off or what have you, but yeah, string theory is probably some bullshit. We only need 5 dimensions, and it's been figured out since 1926 with Kaluza-Klein. Literally, 1926, Kaluza-Klein basically unified the idea of the ether with an extra dimension that unifies electromagnetism, and gravity. By the way, Einstein was pretty certain as well that electromagnetism and gravity were related because he looked at the equations and realized the equations have the exact same form. When I mean form, it's like all the same letters are in the same spots, the exact same equations. Okay, Mike Ben. Oh, thank you, Noble. Sorry if this has been a little bit since it's okay, only been 20 minutes. Mike Bentz on Rogan. 1 hour and 8 minutes and says the key words, but 20-minute frame around then he explains exactly the craft Mellon is implementing. I don't understand the context of this, but I'm going to probably have to watch the Mike Bentz thing. I heard it's really long, though. It's like 4 hours. I like the Mike Bentz guy. I feel like he might be... No, you know what? He's probably mostly right. Turns out the government's way more evil than what like anybody thought. Cheers. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is ever going to get better. It's not. Is that from the Lorax? I'm assuming this is from the Lorax, which is one of the best Dr. Seuss books that I've ever read in my life. What the message Bobby's saying there is that we have to be the ones to drive change. If we just keep looking up to people to tell us what to think and what to believe, then we're always going to be easily misled. That's what I think is the biggest takeaway from the MH370 videos, is how easy it was for us to be lied to. We've been lied to about the UFO phenomenon. We've been lied to by the media about what happened to a missing plane. We've been lied by academia about physics. We've been lied to by everybody out there. That's the biggest takeaway, guys. Okay, a few more. Travis, thank you very much, brother. Appreciate that. I don't know who to reach out. I don't have context for this message here, but sorry. Oh, wow. Holy crap, Andy. Thank you very much, brother. Wow. Yeah, I got to say this again, because some of you guys have been going crazy with the donations recently. Keep your money if you need your money. If you have excess money and you want to support MH370X, you want to support ZPE disclosure, of course you can donate. And I will, of course, read your message. Thank you very much for the donations. End of the day, if there's somebody out there that needs that money, I don't want you to feel compelled to have to give it to me. I'm apparently a social media guy now. I don't make a ton of money off of it, but it is supplemental income. It does help me out. But thank you very much. So, Andy, let's look at your question. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. It's up to us to press through the truth. Nobody's coming to save us. Aliens are just a distraction. The technology exists. The videos are real. Keep asking the questions and reaching critical mass. The brainwashings are powerful. Absolutely. Absolutely. And this is the thing. What do we need to be doing? We need to be asking the questions. The thing that these people like Chris Mellon, these other boomers that are out there, like, they suck at social media. How do you get to them? What they do is they post like something on social media and then they like ghost read all the replies, but they never reply to anybody because they don't want to get into like little debates and arguments with people or whatever. No, literally, this is what they do. So how do you get to them? You just go into their replies. You just post. What's the source of 0 point energy? Why aren't you commenting about the MH370 videos? Why aren't you revealing 0 point energy? Why aren't you talking about the technology? Right? These are the questions that will get to them. Why? Because they're intentionally avoiding those questions. I can tell you, as somebody that scrolls through the comments, like somebody says something to you that, you know, triggers you or what have you, like you want to reply. So that's what you guys need to do, is that, you know, just keep pressing. Like we are actually pushing the conversation towards free energy, teleportation, warp drives, things that would have just been even a year ago. Nobody would have taken them seriously. We've already made huge strides in the percentage of people that are understanding that stuff's real. In fact, there was a comment earlier today. Somebody said, you know, I was mean to you before, Ashton. You know, probably said some mean stuff, probably called me a grifter, whatever happens. And they said, but I looked at the evidence and I just can't stop thinking about it. And your explanation, as crazy it is, makes the most sense. The reason that is because I reasoned myself into the argument. All I did was look at all the evidence in totality and try to come up with a story that makes the most sense. And instead of assuming that everybody out there is a liar, I assumed that what everybody was saying was truthful in their own opinions. And then after that, you only weed out the information that doesn't line up with the overall story. And even in that situation, you open the door to, well, maybe I misunderstand. And that's what I was doing with Chris Mellon, is I was saying, well, I can only come to one conclusion. You're not talking about the MH370 videos because they basically expose the whole narrative you're trying to push. Because MH370 videos don't show aliens zapping a plane. They show the United States government committing a covert action with exotic technology. That's what the MH370 videos show. And that is a stark contrast to this idea that the United States government is just hiding aliens, nothing else. And they don't do anything evil. They don't commit conspiracies. So I opened the door and said, well, if I'm wrong, then what is it? Why aren't you talking about the videos? Right? Now's your moment. Now's your moment to correct me. But instead, what did we get? We'll come back to some of these other comments. I see you guys went crazy with donations. Just chill. I'll get to your stuff in a second. I want to finish this up real quick here. God, there we go. So I thought this comment was pretty nice. I go back and check the replies and I can't reply anymore. And I went, well, that's weird. I can't reply to anyone anymore. So I went, could Chris Mellon have blocked me? Sure enough, Chris Mellon blocked me. In fact, I had to make another post because after somebody has blocked you, if you've quote tweeted them, it basically doesn't get seen anymore. So I don't know if you guys know this about Twitter. I'll help you guys out with how Twitter algos work. If you try to quote somebody that has you blocked or that you've blocked, your post basically doesn't get seen. Like it basically kills the engagement like 99%. And I could tell, I could just look at it and it was getting 0 views. 0. So the fact that he blocked me destroyed the post engagement. So I made another post as well. But before that, I said, should you trust Chris Mellon, Gary Nolan, James Fox, Jeremy Corbell, George Knapp, Ross Kohler, and the rest of their crew? No, you should not. Did my post here warrant a block? Ask yourself why all these frauds are ignoring the biggest UFO videos in the history of humanity. These guys are lying to you, and they don't like being challenged. That's the truth. The question you guys should ask is this: why is it that Ross Coulthart is talking to people about telepathic insectoid aliens? He's talking about telepathic insectoid aliens. But he can't talk about 2 videos of an airplane that's still missing that's being filmed by U.S. military assets that shows plasma orbs defying gravity. I'm sorry, guys. It's just not adding up. These guys are happy to talk about completely insane shit with no basis in reality. With no basis in reality. And by the way, guys, I don't mean that, like, you know, maybe telepathy, all the remote viewing stuff is real. There's just no hard evidence for it yet. So the fact that people are willing to engage in those conversations, but not even address the elephant in the room, which is the most compelling UFO videos in the history of the world. And the only reason why they won't address them is because the United States government is implicated is it's kind of a red flag, guys. It's kind of a red flag. Makes you kind of wonder, like, are these people connected to the United States intelligence? Because we've implicated the United States intelligence agencies in the disappearance of MH370, and now there's videos of orbs teleporting it, and you don't want to talk about orbs anymore, or teleportation. What else am I supposed to think? I'm just a normal guy. What am I supposed to think? I doubt Chris Mellon's still watching, but I want to know, like, what am I supposed to think about these guys when they refuse to look or address the biggest videos? Of course they know who I am. I've been on Candace fucking Owens, got 1 million views just on YouTube. Just on YouTube. I went on the Redacted podcast, got 2.5 million views. This is just the video, not even the audio versions. You think these people don't know who I am? Of course they do. The more they ignore this, the more awkward it's gonna be. So then I made my last post. And actually, wait, where's the one? Somebody I think has the thing. And by the way, I'm not going to block Chris Mellon. Why would I care about blocking Chris Mellon? Jesus. I just think it's crazy how soft these people are. And you may ask, Ashton, why are you calling out these people? Some of these people are my heroes. I love Gary Nolan. They got bad news for you, man. Don't ever meet your heroes. That's the bad news. Gary Nolan blocked me. I never even said anything about him. We even had a DM conversation. You can find the live stream where I showed all the DMs. One day I'm just randomly looking at a post and realizing that Gary Nolan has me blocked for no reason. Like, what? I was never even rude to him. What is going on with these people, man? What am I supposed to think? These people all are in cahoots with one another. They're all talking to each other behind the scenes. I mean, do they really want us to think they're not communicating behind the scenes? Of course they are. Of course they are. Do you really want to think that they have not talked about the MH370 videos? They've not talked about this guy, Ashton Forbes, who's got more followers than they do? Talking about warp drives and wormholes, talking about Hal Puthoff. Of course they know all about me. So the fact that they're like weirdly blocking me and shit like this is really, really a bad look. Really bad look. Like, because any normal person that looks at this goes like, well, what is this guy afraid of? So this is where I had to point out Chris Mellon's positions. Why? Because I know a lot of my followers are not big fans of the Clintons and the Bushes. I know I'm not. I mean, this guy, Chris Mellon, you've got deep state written all over you, dude. All over you, man. So then he replied to this other guy, opening with an unserious, nasty personal attack to drum up attention is not going to get rewarded with serious conversation. Sorry, what's the nasty, unserious personal attack? Is he talking about where I said I don't? And I'm seriously asking this, guys. I don't know what's up with your UFO influencer crew, but I don't trust any of you. Is that a personal attack? That's just me being honest about my opinion. I don't trust any of them. I'm not sure what he was even getting at. The other post, I don't think there was any personal attacks. This just shows me that Chris Mellon is fragile. He's soft as baby shit. It turns out a lot of these guys are. And this goes back to the political thing as well. It turns out they're all super far left too. All of them are. They've got TDS, that's Trump derangement syndrome. Like, there's a connection here that can't be avoided. You would think that the UFO phenomenon would not be a political thing. Somehow it is. Somehow this far left, what does Elon Musk call it? Woke mind virus has impacted the UFO community. And it turns out, and you know, if you are on one side of the argument or another, it doesn't mean you have to be in a certain tribe or whatever. So don't take this too harshly, but it turns out all these far left people are all also aligned with the alien narrative. And also they might be aligned with the US government. That's the least surprising thing. The far left has been censoring social media in cahoots with the government for years. We saw with the Twitter files. The FBI was literally paying millions of dollars for the privilege of banning people off of Twitter before Elon Musk bought it. Proven in the Twitter files. They've got the emails. They've got the amounts of money, the millions of dollars, quite literally. So, of course, Chris Mellon's a fucking deep state agent. Of course he is. His whole story makes no fucking sense at all. He knows way more than he's letting on. What is he not talking about? Well, he's probably not talking about the weaponization of the technology, the Five Eyes, and he's not talking about 0-point energy. That's what he's not talking about. Simple as that. Okay, so last post. And honestly, I already talked about this, so I'm not going to ramp on this one again. But basically here that this is the most, instead of actually showing this, I'm going to show a clip. Because remember, Lou Elizondo was asked about the MH370 videos. So if you're new to this for some reason, you know who Lou Elizondo is. He went on every single mainstream show to say that aliens are real, including 60 Minutes, The Daily Show on Comedy Central. He was on Joe Rogan, literally every major platform there is. And it was all orchestrated. None of it was like inorganic. None of it was organic. It was all just like completely set up. I know because I literally go on podcasts all the time. And there's no chance that you can line up like Rogan and Patrick Bet-David and all these other people like right after your book comes out unless it's orchestrated. 100% no doubt. So Glenn Beck asked Lou Elizondo about the MH370 videos. And this was his response. Lou Elizondo, of course, is aligned with Chris Mellon. Of course they are. And hey, you know what? For the record, guys, if Chris Mellon or any of these other guys want to refute any of the claims that I'm making about them, my DMs are open. I follow all you guys. You can DM me. You can email me. You can reply in my messages. Anything you want me to correct about my opinion about what you're doing and the narrative you're pushing, anytime you want. Anytime you want. Reach out to me. We can have a conversation. I'm actually a completely chill guy. I'm only not chill when douchebags decide that they're going to block me for no reason. If you do that, I'm going to expose you. Just is what it is, man. It's called social media. So let's watch this clip. Because you're going to see a pattern here.
Did you see the theory on the missing Malaysia airliner where it was? Have you seen that?
I've seen it, and I'm always very careful for me, Glenn, because recently. So look, I'm a science guy, right? I've always just follow the science. Recently, about 3 weeks ago, Google, someone on Wikipedia decided to label me as a quote unquote conspiracy theorist. I'm not a conspiracy theorist at all. That's just someone trying to minimize, this topic and kind of chip away at the narrative. I'm very careful to be open-minded about everything. I know that the Malaysia airline, there were some people that were claiming there was maybe some UAP involvement. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I did not pursue it. I know some of the people that I've talked to were dead for it and dead against it. Something it's a complete nonsense. It's fake. Others said, no, that looks legit. And I could not tell you, Glenn. I have no idea. Okay. I am not I do not go down the conspiracy rabbit hole very often, simply because I'm trying to remain open-minded towards everything if I can.
Bro, what? What? Guys, are you kidding me? So first of all, to pretend like you don't know who I am and not say my name right there is so obvious. Some people are talking about these videos and saying there's UAP. No, it's just one guy. Just one guy, and his name's Ashton Forbes. And he's going on major podcasts, and he's getting more views than you're getting, Lou Elizondo. I've been getting more engagement when I go on podcasts than Lou Elizondo gets when he goes on 60 Minutes. Just to put that in perspective for you. You think that these people don't know who I am? Why are they avoiding saying my name? Why is he lying about it, pretending like I've seen that? He wanted to lie and say he wasn't familiar too, but he couldn't because he was going to get caught out because Glenn Beck literally talked to me like several weeks before that clip. That's why Glenn Beck asked, because Glenn Beck literally interviewed me, and a few weeks later, Lou Elizondo's talking about warp drives and wormholes, and he's going, wait, have you seen those MH370 videos? Like this, I just talked to this guy, and he's saying that's what's going on in those videos. So of course, we know why. We know why. Why aren't they saying my name? Because they know those videos are real. They know the videos are real. It's crazy that Lou Elizondo's like, some people are telling me that they're fake, and some people are telling me they're real. Who? Which people? Is it Hal Puthoff saying the videos are real? Because that would be big, since you're like sitting here telling us that Hal Puthoff is your science advisor and he advises you on all this 0-point energy stuff. Because I'm saying he's who's advising me too. Not directly. I'm just reading his scientific papers, and I'm going, oh, this guy's got it. So it's crazy to me that these guys and Chris Mellon, they think they're so smart by like not saying my name. Well, bad news. I've got more followers than you've got now. I've got more people watching my stuff than watch you guys. So now the problem is you can't just try to minimize me by not saying my name or whatever other bullshit anymore. The bigger thing is this same narrative that Lou Elizondo pushed was this same narrative right here. This idea that, oh, I don't go down conspiracy theories. What the fuck are you talking about? You just did like a 60-pod video tour on mainstream media to tell the world the government's hiding aliens. Chris Mellon, you're like one of the most OG UFO people that's out there. You've been saying that there's crazy stuff flying around in the skies for years. You're saying you're not a conspiracy theorist? You are the default conspiracy theorist. You're the kind of conspiracy theorist that doesn't have any actual evidence to support your claims. It's aliens? Show me the alien body. Show me the alien body. Heck, I'd be willing to believe it if they like took, what were those mummies called? The Nazca mummies, the tridactyls or whatever. If these UFO people were like, hey, these Nazca mummies are real, they show that aliens are real, I might actually believe it. That would at least be some evidence. That would at least be a situation where you've got an alien body and you're going, this is an alien body. Instead, they're just going, yeah, aliens are real. And I'm going, okay, where? Show me the alien. You got David Grush going to Congress going, yeah, we've got biologics. Are they human or non-human? Non-human. Okay, where the fuck are they? Wheel them out. What's the holdup here? This is the thing that I think is the most ridiculous. Is these UFO alien weirdos are out here trying to claim that they have the moral high ground. They don't believe in conspiracy theories. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? At least my conspiracy theory is based on actual evidence, like real evidence, like a plane that's still missing today. Like, do these people think that planes disappear in the year 2014? Do they know anything about satellites? We're tracking 33,000 objects, some of which are smaller than a baseball or a golf ball in outer space. 33,000 all the time. You're telling me that a Boeing 777 was flying rogue for 8 hours and no satellites saw it? Come on, man. We're not that stupid. We're not that stupid. So that's the craziest thing to me, guys, is they're trying to play the moral high ground. And this is the weirdest shit, is they're trying to say that, like, I think they think the government's going to come clean. The government is never going to come clean on this. Never. We're going to go to some donations in a second. The government's never going to come clean on any of this technology or what we've done. Why? Because people are going to, first of all, there's multiple reasons. One is we've been committing crimes. We've been committing literal crimes. You could argue they're crimes against humanity. You could argue that they are straight up making people disappear. We've been committing crimes. So people are going to go to prison. The next thing is the civil liability. The civil liability is so huge that anybody who has this technology is going to get sued into non-existence. Any company with this technology is going to get sued into non-existence. The third reason why they can never admit that it's real is because people are quite literally going to kill themselves. Guys, people are going to kill themselves. Normally, I don't say this because I don't even want to do anything that would push people down that path. Please never harm yourself. But people, these videos, they break people's minds, man. I'm not even saying this is a joke. They quite literally break people's minds to the point where they have a psychological breakdown. Some of these people are going to kill themselves when they realize that the depths that they've been getting lied to. A lot of people are just going to go, oh, the whole world is a hologram. It's all a simulation. We're in a big video game. And they're just going to check out. They're going to say, I'm out of here. Imagine Redditors, these people with blue hair, they've got pronouns in their bios, they've got Ukrainian flags, they've got the BLM matters, and they're a white person, right? These people, once they realize that their whole worlds are a lie, like everything, their whole personality, everything they base their life around is a complete and utter fabrication. These people are going to completely, they're going to break down. They're going to have a complete mental collapse. That's it. So just, and we're not even done yet. That's just 3 reasons. The 4th reason is that our entire civilization and way of life is going to collapse. What even is capitalism when there's no scarcity? We have access to free energy. Capitalism, what even is that anymore? This is the thing that these UFO people, the Chris Mellons, whatever, they don't want to talk about. Is like, hey, this technology is so powerful that it means the end of scarcity. Absolute end of scarcity on this planet. What does that mean for our way of life? What is the economy in a situation like that? This is the part, like, so add these 4 reasons up. Killing people, civil liability, people literally having mental breakdowns, and then our entire socioeconomic way of life collapsing. They're never going to admit this shit. They can't. How can they admit that? It's just too huge. It's too big. So these people are like, oh, just wait till 2027. We're going to get the government to admit it. Or, hey, let's just pass this. We're going to pass a law. This shit's the craziest. We're going to pass a law to get disclosure. A law? We're going to pass a law? Where's the laughing guy thing? I got to get the laughing man meme video. What was the one? Yeah, here we go. Okay, I'm going to do the guy. Hold on, guys. This is going to be good. Okay. It's going to be good. Like, guys, how do we get disclosure? I know. Let's pass more laws. That'll get us disclosure. Hey, who's hiding this technology? Oh, it's the government that's hiding this technology. Oh, what do? Let's trust the government to pass some more laws. That'll make it happen. That'll get them to admit the truth. This is like this guy.
Para que vaya a recoger la paellera. Y me acuesto en su, ya para abrir el restaurante que era el arroz. Y me llama el cocinero. Risita, ¿qué? Ve por la paellera. Venga, que las 2 de la tarde ya están aquí. Miren, bañador. En la chancla.
Is it basically saying we're going to have these UFO hearings, and then we're going to pass some laws, and then we're going to force the government.
Todo peinado porque no me dio tiempo nada ponerme la chancla y el bañador.
You know what? Maybe if I
Voy a la playa.
I'm just going to mute it. And then they said the government will admit the truth when we pass a law. We just need to pass more laws. That's all we need to do. We'll get UFO disclosure. They'll wield alien bodies. We got the alien bodies. We're going to bring them out of Area 51, guys. Trust your government. The government never lies to you. They know conspiracies aren't real. The government will never lie to you guys. Hold on. Let me go get the alien bodies. Jesus, man. Like, what is this life, man? What even is going on in this life, guys? Absolutely, like, you know what? It's good that I became a cynical asshole before I figured all this out, because I was already checked out on this world. I was already like, you know what? There's nothing too crazy. Nothing can really shake me anymore. Like, I've already seen so much like terrible shit, so much deception and so much lies. Like, and so when I see those videos, I'm like, oh, okay, well, teleportation could be real. Okay, sure, whatever. I mean, we're not above that. We're horrible people. We could certainly have been lying to our entire retarded populace about technology not existing that really does. So maybe it was meant to be, you know, maybe you needed somebody to be as cynical of an asshole as I am to really push this information and get it out there. Because everybody else is just too stuck on this idea that, yeah, we'll just pass some more laws and that'll force the Lockheed Martin to admit their gravity manipulation technology. Yeah, guys. Lockheed Martin's totally going to respect the law. They've been probably killing people and planting fake evidence on the internet and like ruining people's lives for like 70 years. But you know what? They're totally just going to like admit it now. Yeah, Lockheed Martin's, is it in the financial best interest of the investors of Lockheed Martin for them to admit that they've been committing crimes for decades and that they've had a significant advantage over all their competitors because they've been gifted this gravity technology that's not considered to be real? Yeah, I'm sure Lockheed Martin's going to line up to say, yeah, we've been hiding it, guys. Go ahead and sue us into non-existence anymore. Jesus Christ, man. It blows my mind that people actually trust the government to give us alien disclosure. This is actually the biggest reason why, like, a couple weeks ago, they were talking about this alien signal and that NASA's going to admit that we've been in contact with aliens. The government's never going to admit that. That was the biggest evidence against that being real, was this idea that the government was about to announce that we've been in contact with aliens. They're never going to fucking announce that. Are you kidding me? No way. No way. So, yeah, Chris Mellon's going to give us disclosure. Not going to happen. Guys, the only way disclosure ever happens is if it's on one of us. It's going to be a normal dude. That's going to be how disclosure happens. All these other people are not living in reality. So then somebody asked Chris Mellon, like, basically was like, dude, it's kind of sketchy that you're just blocking this guy and giving him like weird, like Tupac responses, which it is. It's super weird. And you realize like how narcissistic these people are. They're boomers, first of all, guys. Like, and I use that term like quite literal boomers, like people that didn't grow up with the internet. They didn't grow up with the internet. The thing is, I grew up with the internet, so when people are huge dickheads to me, it doesn't really faze me, and usually I just give it right back to them. Because I've grown up in the internet. I know how people are on the internet. These guys are so narcissistic that, like, they look at that completely mundane conversation, that mundane messages, where I was being constructively critical and opening the door for them to give their opinions back. And what do? They immediately block me and assume that I was making making rude comments about them. Jesus, that's what gets you blocked, bro. I've got people out here giving me death threats, doing 11-hour live streams where they just make up a bunch of shit. People made, I think it was like a 34-page PDF full of bullshit about me and lies. Bro, Chris Mellon, we are not the same. We are not the same, brother. You are blocking people that are giving like legitimate criticisms. I'm out here blocking people that are pushing literal disinformation about me and running a literal disinformation campaign for a year straight about me. People are even mean to me and I don't even block them half the time because I don't really care that much. And I've never blocked anybody just for asking a question. Never. Even the guy that just, donated $5 and said, hey, isn't this the same grifter stuff that Greer's pushing? I think it's important to address those questions because that's what normal people are thinking. Because I was like that too. I used to think like, oh, maybe Stephen Greer was scamming people. He was grifting people or whatever. But it turns out, no, he's actually talked to a lot of engineers that are 100% legit. Okay, there's a lot of donations. Let me get to them. And again, just thank you for this huge donation, Andy. You're an amazing person. Love you, brother. Charles Omida. Okay, let's get your questions. Ashton, that's why many ignore the true scope of these phenomena as they are walking a path where conventional technology is insufficient to explain and the government seems to ignore it. It's true. There's another follow-up. The government likely already knows that these events and discoveries are connected to forces from other dimensions beyond human comprehension and current science. It's not beyond human comprehension. There's nothing beyond human comprehension that exists in this universe. It's just stuff that we haven't learned to accept yet. If you go back to the 1850s and you had told people about a cell phone, they would have said that's beyond human comprehension. But of course it's not. We figured out cell phones. So this is the thing that we need to dispel ourselves with this notion that there's science out there that humans can't understand. That's not true. Anything that exists that is a physical property of this universe, humans can understand. Absolutely, no doubt. The other thing that I just want to address here is this idea of extra dimensions. I really do not like the narrative of these entities are extra dimensional. What the hell does that mean? What does that mean? You think they're phasing between our reality and a different reality? What reality? What's the evidence for this other reality? There isn't any. When we say extra dimensional, I think that people have gotten fast and loose with the science. Because, as I've said, there's 5 dimensions. And one of those dimensions is the ether. And now I'm starting to think that people are abusing that to start thinking that, okay, this means there's this extra bizarro world that's out there. It could be, but there's no actual evidence for that. And I don't think we have enough data right now to determine whether or not if time is deterministic, meaning whatever happened always happened and will never change, or if there's like the many worlds hypothesis where you can change timelines. We don't have enough data. We don't have enough data. So if people are going to out there confidently say that it's one thing or the other, then they kind of lose credibility because we just don't have the data for it at the moment. And the only way we will is if we start testing wormholes and start teleporting people through them and figuring out what happens. Like we have to admit what we did at MH370 is real, and then we might be able to get to that answer. But yes, I totally agree. Project Paperclip, I didn't even know that was a real thing. It is. We took scientists from Germany and some of this other stuff. Like this technology has been out there for long enough. And Sal Pais even said 1915 is when Einstein came up with general relativity. The equations have been out there since 1915 for us to figure this out. We've had plenty of time. The temporal argument that these people try to make where, well, it goes back too far. Bro, if you're talking about times before we had cameras, it's not really solid evidence. So if you start talking about times before like 1900 and you're like, oh, in this painting, there's a UFO in it. That's sure. You can run with that if you want, but that's not strong enough evidence for me to believe that we've been seeing flying saucers for thousands of years. I get why people make those arguments, but it's not hard evidence. We need videos. We need to be able to see it. Okay, so thank you, Charles, for those 3 donations. I appreciate you. Harrison Wooten, we could all have been friends this whole time. Yeah, I was actually hoping to reach out with an olive branch to people like Chris Mellon with that conversation. I didn't expect it to go the way that it went, but I don't really care either way. And I was generous to all of the UFO people. I was nice to all of them. Gary Nolan, Lou Elizondo, Jeremy Corbell. I've shown you guys all the DMs. But admittedly, I was skeptical because what am I supposed to think of these people when I'm somebody who's coming in from the outside? I have no idea what to think of these people. And they're all avoiding me, very obviously, too. All avoiding me, all avoiding the videos, all avoiding making any comments about them. The only conclusion I could come to is that these people are controlled. They're either idiots or they're controlled or both. Could be both. They could be idiots and they could be getting controlled. And they're listening to their nut job CIA friends or whatever that are also themselves idiots. Like this is how government really works, is that most people are just morons. That could be happening too. This knowledge acquired through the projects and testimonies like David Grush suggests we are facing something beyond conventional technology. Nah, I mean, of course, it's not conventional technology. We're not talking rockets. Obviously, it's electromagnetic in nature, but it's not beyond human understanding. That's a fallacy to claim that it's beyond human understanding. Let me go through the rest of these. The occult, esoteric, supernatural. What I will say is that if you accept there's an ether of energy that's out there, it does open the door to supernatural phenomenon. And I think that personally, my opinion, just my opinion, is that we're going to find that a lot of these supernatural phenomenon are in fact connected to the UFO phenomenon. You imagine a ball of plasma. If I saw a floating ball of light, I wouldn't think it's aliens. I would think it's a ghost. I would think it's a ghost or a demon or an angel. So yes, in that respect, I do think we're going to find out that this science, this technology is connected to a lot of this supernatural stuff that's been reported on for many, many years. I do think that. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I'm open to it being anything. I don't really care. Again, all I want is technology. Just tell us the truth about technology. Just give us free energy. Just give us Star Trek warp drive. I want that in my lifetime. That's all I really care about. Okay, we want the info out. I'll go broke to change the trajectory of history. Faster is out there, the less people suffer long term. Yeah, I think so. I agree, Bobby. I think that the faster we rip this Band-Aid off, the quicker humans can react. End of the day, there's no kicking this can down the road. There's not going to be a time in the future where humans are all of a sudden evolved enough to accept this. No. No matter when we do this, people are going to kill themselves. People are going to kill themselves no matter when we rip the Band-Aid off. That's just the hard truth. You might say, oh, we can save 1% more of the population if we wait another 100 years to reveal the truth. Fuck that. Just rip the Band-Aid off. If people are going to kill themselves, let them kill themselves. The people that are of sound mind that want to live on this planet, we're going to live on this planet and turn it into hopefully a utopia of free energy and Star Trek level technology. If the people want to check out, whatever, okay, here's your bags, peace out. I'm not encouraging it, but it's end of the day, I believe that everybody has control of their own body. You can do whatever you want to do, accept the information or don't accept it, doesn't matter. Next question is maybe making a sort of library of all the info on the ZPE technology without the government. Yeah, I've thought about that. There are ones that are out there. There are ones, some really good ones. They're hard to find. You can't actually find them easily with Google. Like, for example, Ken Shoulders has a huge repository of documents of all his stuff. Oh, by the way, this is a good time to point out, I did an interview with Tom Montauk last night, actually, really late. It will go live on Sunday. I'm going to make a clip tomorrow. I'll post it on my social media, and then you're going to want to watch that. Because we talk about 0-point energy. We talk about all these stuff that we're talking about today, guys. I ask him about aliens, nature of it, the suppression, scalar physics, and we talk a lot about plasma. Guys, Tom had some pretty useful insights into the plasma stuff as well. So, truth is this. I don't even want to talk to Christopher Mellon. I don't want to talk to Lou Elizondo. I don't want to talk to any of those guys. I don't want to talk to Gary Nolan. I don't want to talk to Ross Coulthart. These people know nothing. They have no information to give me that pushes the ball forward. I want to talk to people like Tom Montauk, who is maybe the world's leading expert on scalar physics. He's an electrical engineer and physicist with multiple books that he's written. Those are the people that I want to talk to. And yes, I'm working on stuff where I may get a production company to help improve our production quality, but also to do stuff like make a website. To make a website that would have the information on it. But the truth is, all of the information is out there. And if you want to do the hard work, you can go through my live streams and you can see where I've reviewed all this information. I made a Twitter post with 16 scientific papers in it that I just came up with off the top of my head while I was doing a live stream. All the information is out there. It's just not really in a centralized location. I will also say there's other people, too, also doing the whole ZPE thing. Nassim Haramein was just on with Danica Patrick. I've read a lot of Nassim's stuff. He gets it. He gets it. Nassim and I are probably differ by 5%, but not very much at all. So there are other people that are pushing it, and a lot of people are doing their own thing with it. Which, before I did this live stream, my whole thing was going to be like, hey, Chris Mellon, Jeremy Corbell, all you guys, you want to push the alien bullshit? That's fine. I don't care. The more people pushing, the better. There's no reason not to have more people pushing on it. You know, whatever. We get more stuff out there. But if you start taking shots at me, if you start infringing on the narratives that I'm pushing, well, then we're going to push back. So there may be a website coming, more stuff coming. I don't have anything definitive for you guys. I'll announce it whenever there is. Okay, guys, how many super chats, chat? Okay, Dobby with the Throbby. This is one of my favorite usernames, by the way. Thank you very much for your donation. I think if you started your MH370 investigation before 2019, it would have been much more difficult for people to believe. Absolutely. COVID did make many more people realize the government does not have your own best interests at heart. I've spoken about this many times, but you know what? We're overdue to talk about it again. In fact, that was one of the main things that woke me up. The reason why I was woken up during COVID is because, guys, I was the pharmacy and laboratory architect for the hospital that I was working at. Pharmacy and laboratory architect, which meant everything related to medications or lab tests basically went through me. I was also on the board of the antimicrobial stewardship program at the hospital I was at, which means I sat in the room where the people decided like what medications we were going to give to treat certain illnesses that were going around, which vaccine we were going to use or vaccine we were going to use for the flu shot that year. I was in all those meetings. When COVID happened, I was the guy that built everything. The lab tests. I was the guy that built the order sets that have all the orders on them with all the treatments we were going to do for people that were coming in to be screened or admitted. I was the guy that built the rule that the government forced us to put in so that every single patient admitted to the hospital got a lab test, a COVID test. And I knew when I implemented that rule, it was going to force the rates to skyrocket. The more people you test, the more positives you're going to get, even if they're not real. And last kicker, I wrote the audits so that when the lab results came back, I was sending those results to the infection control nurse so that every day they could know which rooms had negative results. Negative results are the ones they were looking at because they could take down the isolations. Because everybody that came in that said they were sick, they were treating them like they were positive with Ebola. I mean, really, they're talking about COVID, but they were treating it like Ebola. Like you had to get all bubbled up if you wanted to go see the patient. And then they curbed that back where it's just like, okay, now we just need a mask. But literally, they would have these outdoor screening areas where the nurse is in a full bubble outfit. Like she's going to get fucking Ebola or some shit. So I'm watching this all go down. And I'm going to tell you guys the full truth here, although it could be risky. I don't think I'm saying anything that will get me fired. When the results started coming back, it took them 3 weeks to get the results back because all the labs got overwhelmed. They had never run so many COVID tests before, ever. Now they were getting like 1,000,000 times 1,000 times the quantity they normally got. By the time the test came back 3 weeks later, everybody was already fine. It was 3 weeks later. Now you find out you're positive. You're like, I got over that like 2 weeks ago. The results. The thing that blew me away. It was like 1 in 50 people were positive. I couldn't believe it. I looked at it, I went, holy shit. These were people that were coming into the emergency room thinking they had COVID, they were going to die. And only 1 in 50? Let's just say it was 1 in 20. 1 in 20 was positive. What the hell am I supposed to think? And then I go home and I watch the TV and I'm watching my board of supervisors for my county. And they're saying how they're making these numbers up. They've batched together, say 12 people died today. And you're like, no, 12 people died over the past 2 weeks. You've just batched it up to one day. Of course, you realize everything's a fraud. Everything's a scam. If you're inside and you're seeing that firsthand and you're seeing the contrast between what's presented in the media, this wakes you up. And a lot of people have this type of experience. For many people, it happens when something they did makes it into mainstream media. And they look at it and they realize, no, wait, you're presenting that under a different lens. That's not exactly how it happened. And they realize, oh, shit, the media lies. For me, it was realizing, holy shit, they're lying about a fake pandemic that's not even happening. And they're making everybody feel like it was this huge thing where a bunch of people are dying when they're not really dying from COVID. They're just dying from normal causes, and we just manipulated the numbers to make it look like it was way more deadly than it really was. Scary, man. And here's the real kicker. If they can do that, then they can absolutely lie to the world about an airplane disappearing in 2014. Absolutely. So that was my wake-up call. Sorry to go on that whole tangent, but now you guys know the whole story. What do we know about Tom Montauk? His intro to scalar physics is great. Yeah, again, watch the interview on Sunday. It's a banger, guys. It's a banger. You guys are gonna love it. If you're into the science and you're into the physics, you're gonna love it. If you're into the alien topic, you're gonna love it. I basically started off saying, okay, Tom, what's the deal with this UFO thing? What's going on? And then I was basically like, okay, how many aliens are there? Let me know. So you guys are gonna love it. Check it out. A nuclear power plant costs $500 million to $5 billion on the high end. This could cut and provide the energy to the world and take us to another level. Or it is, absolutely. And this is what we need to talk about. This technology can either bring us to a utopia or it can wipe us off the planet. Even wipe our whole planet away. That's what we need to be talking about. Because the only way we make it through this is if people understand the consequences of what's at play here. If we keep lying to people and just not talking about it and trying to talk about aliens and them saving us or some shit like that, we're definitely going to kill ourselves. We definitely are. Like, you start messing with people's psyche like that, and you're just waiting, and then we're going to drop the truth on them in 50 years from now and be like, oh, by the way, guys, we've been hiding free energy for 100 years. We're definitely doomed then. The sooner we tell the truth, the better, frankly. I don't know what this means. And Capistan abides the fuck commies. I was listening to Stan Deyo. We're going to talk for a minute about Stan Deyo. I was listening to the Space with Stan Deyo earlier today, and he said something about somebody's like commie wagon or something like that. I don't know. It just made me laugh for some reason. Nick, thank you very much, brother. Bro, stop being so triggering. Guys, I told you guys today was going to have like a significant number of rants, and I feel like I've lived up to that expectation. Cheers. If you're wondering, yes, this is a core water lid. It just was like the right size for what I needed it for. Yeah, the government needs to collect more data first. This is a great one. Collect more data? What the hell are we talking about, man? Like, we don't need, here's all the data you need, chat. This is all the data we need. This right here is a missing Boeing 777 that's still missing to this day that impossibly disappeared in 2014. We can see some orbs flying around it that are clearly not natural or not anything that we know of. And they just, I don't know, zap the plane out of existence right there. This is where I was laughing with the Arrow guy, where I'm like, dude, you can't just don't try to tell me I'm looking at balloons, man. Don't tell me I'm trying to look at balloons or people with jetpacks on or any shit like that. Because there's no prosaic explanation for watching this airplane disappear out of space-time. There's no prosaic explanation for this. This plane is still missing right now. It's 2024 and it disappeared in 2014. Okay? And I've got 2 videos of the United States military filming it with very high-end military-grade cameras. So high-end that people don't even know how they work, at least with the satellite video. So, going back to the get more data. We can get more data, bro. This is the worst excuse out there. We just need some more data. It's like the Arrow guy I spoke to knew all about Hal Puthoff and Eric Davis. He knew all about them. He was like, had highest praise for them. It's like, what more data? You've got the physicist and the engineer who are literally building gravity shit. Hal Puthoff has a gravity communication device that is only real if the ether is real. Hal Puthoff's patent is fake if there's no ether. So is Hal Puthoff a scammer? No, of course he's not. More data, these people, man. Yeah, their narcissism and only blinds them in hate. This is the thing, though, guys. Like, I decided long ago, I thought about it, like, should I try to be a nice guy to everybody? Be everybody's buddy? And I realized right away that's never going to work. That is never going to work. I realized, you know what? Let them hate. You know what? I want them to hate. I want them to try to debunk me. I want them to come after me. Why? Because that shit's going to get reflected on them 100-fold. And I realized that's how we really wake people up. is you get people polarized against you. They think you're a scammer. They think you're pushing pseudoscience. It's all fake. And then all of a sudden, one day, the hammer comes down. Boom! Turns out all the science and all the physics this Ashton guy was talking about is real. Uh-oh, awkward. What does that mean about those videos where I was adamantly saying that these videos are harming the UFO community? And they're so obviously video game effects. That's what will really break people's minds. And that's important because there's going to be people out there, a lot of these far left UFO people, they think the government never lies to them. I want it to be that those people, not you guys are all cool. You guys are cool. You guys know the government lies to you. For the people that think the government can't commit a conspiracy, the government only does good things, those are the people where I want them to question their reality for the rest of their lives. For the rest of their lives, I want them to go to sleep wondering, shit, what other evil shit has the government been doing that I've just been listening to their bullshit without even questioning it? That's my approach. So if that pushes us back a little bit on getting disclosure, I apologize, but I think it's necessary. I think that that's the only way where we really wake people up. And that's how we make change happen. Because once people realize, holy shit, they can really commit conspiracies, they can really hide stuff and cover stuff up, then people will realize, oh, okay, I understand how they hid all this science, how they hid this physics. No one will ever trust academia again. They're going to realize academia doesn't know shit. Academia did nothing for us. They didn't figure any of this stuff out. They could have been promoting Hal Puthoff's papers and we could have a full disclosure. Academia did nothing. They failed us. We need to tear down all of these institutions and start over from scratch. Simple as that. That's the way we survive. Jackie O, thank you very much for that super sticker. I appreciate it. Also, guys, I can't believe this, but there's 600 comments that I have not yet read in the chat. I don't think I'm going to get to all you guys. I work in an operating room. They had us putting our N95s in brown paper bags, reuse it 5 times. One of the first things that you learn about the masks, after you talk to a respiratory technician, they're the ones who fit the masks, is that, for every nurse, they actually do a manual fitting of the mask to make sure that it's sealed, and they have this thing that they do to test it. And the next thing you learn is that after they've worn that mask and gone in the patient room or whatever, they throw it in the trash. Like literally, we produce so much trash from these masks. And that's how you're supposed to use an N95. You're supposed to wear it for like an hour and then throw it away. Why? Because all the germs and bacteria are all over the mask. And every time you breathe in, you risk breathing that in. And yet in public, people are just wearing the same mask they wore for like weeks straight. They've got it like hanging on their car windshield or on their car rear mirror. They put the mask on. You're like, that's the most disgusting shit I've ever seen in my life. Like it's the actual opposite of hygienic. In fact, I was just reading a thing yesterday that the guy that came up with washing your hands, they basically threw him in an insane asylum because germ theory had not yet been discovered. Get this, guys. So the guy that discovered washing your hands was considered a crazy person. And they basically threw him in an insane asylum. They ruined his life because he wanted people, hey, you should probably wash your hands to stay hygienic. Now we look at that, we laugh, we go, of course. In fact, one of the first things I teach you in the hospital is that washing your hands is the number one way to avoid germs. Number one way. You have to continually wash your hands if you're a nurse. Absolutely crazy. So it goes to show you. And two more examples real quick as well is that telephone in the late 1800s, you guys go read about it. The people that were selling telephones were thought to be scammers and hoaxers and fraudsters and grifters because it was just known by people that voice cannot transmit through wires. It was considered pseudoscience that a voice could transmit through wires. Now it's 2024. We don't even use wires. We communicate voice through the air, invisibly. When the Wright brothers were filming themselves flying around on airplanes and the media wouldn't report on it Everybody just thought it was fake. They thought they were scammers. There's no way that humans can possibly fly. They thought it was completely impossible. You start to realize we haven't really advanced at all. We're just as stupid as we were 150 years ago. We might even be stupider. It's our basis of knowledge that lets us understand something to be real or not. This is a pretty profound understanding. So for my skeptics that are out there, this is what I want you to understand. That's fine. I love the skeptics. I love everybody. The reason why when we look at this video, it seems like it has to be video games or whatever, our minds come up with so many explanations, is because we don't have the basis of knowledge to understand how this can be real. It seems impossible, right? The plane is there 1 second and then it's just not there the next. And there's this cold explosion happening. But once you realize that the ether is real, that we are not in an empty vacuum, that the distance between two atoms is not empty. There's stuff there. Once you realize that, now those videos become inevitable. They become obviously real. Obviously real. The same way where I don't question when I see a SpaceX rocket shoot up into the sky. I don't question if that's CGI. I don't question SpaceX rockets being fake because I know that rocket technology is real. If you went back to even 1850 and you showed them a rocket on a video, they would say it's fake because they would say those rockets don't exist. There's no such thing as rockets. It's not real technology. So realize that what we understand to be possible and real is a culmination of our shared knowledge of how the world works. It's a pretty interesting thought, right? Overton Window Man, $4.99. Thank you very much for that donation. I appreciate you. Nukes our llama. Joyce Johns. You should make a video game that involves orbs. Educational game category. My plan is to produce educational content based on all the physics around 0-point energy. And my other concept is doing videos about the untold engineers. Like we would do people like Hal Puthoff and Eric Davis, but then we would also do videos about people like Paul Sizz and Robert M.L. Baker, some of these other guys that were like Black Project engineers that the world just doesn't know anything about. But we have like video clips and we have their scientific papers, even though most of them are dead. I think I want to do stuff like that. Stuff that is educational for people, but also just completely grounded in reality, no woo or anything like that. And I think I want them to be relatively short clips. Yeah, Ken Shoulders would be another one. And we would probably mix it up between the more popular ones that people know and the ones that people are more unknown. And do like 10 to 20-minute videos. Relatively short videos. Yeah, Winterberg, Bostic, you guys are, yeah. And we could do a lot. We could do a lot. And do like 10 to 20-minute videos that just expresses like, here's who they are. Here's a very short history of their background. Here's the science that they promoted and what they helped push forward. Like with Winterberg, we could talk about the Planck ether hypothesis, which is basically exactly the same as the ether. I think that would be fire. So that's kind of the plan for next year, guys, is work on those types of things. And then also I would do other small videos where I will just explain the physics myself. So like, here's the concept of negative energy. But I don't want it to be all about me. I'm not trying to make myself into a personality or anything like that. So I may actually like, I was actually talking to Tom about this last night. I was thinking about like having Tom come on as a collaborator and he could do like explaining of scalar physics, for example. And we could have like a little produced video where he talks about it. Or maybe several. So, okay. Whew. Guys, did I miss any donations? You guys are going crazy. Okay, so the Stan Deyo video. Stan Deyo. Do I have the clips of Stan Deyo? Let me see. I'm not sure if I took clips of him. The nice benefit of this, guys, is that I've made so many clips over the last year. Like I quite literally have like hundreds of clips. It's crazy because I started to have to search now. I have so many. I don't have the Stan Deyo clip, by the way, guys. Actually, let me double check. Maybe I do. Is that it would be easy actually to take all these clips that I have and just make short videos about these people. The only issue for me is I want it to be like decent production quality. I want it to be like at least Jesse Michaels level. At least Jesse Michaels level. What's going on here? Question for Thomas. Can he explain the strong and weak forces, including the equations with units? I don't know. Is this a meta thing going on in the chat? Guys, there's like 600 comments. I can't keep up. But, is this question for Tom Montauk? Maybe. I'm sure he can. Tom Montauk is a fucking genius. He can absolutely explain the equations. But basically, the superforce, Sal Pais' superforce, is essentially the unification of all forces. This idea that the ether zero-point energy field connects and everything in our observable reality is a product of the interaction of our space-time with this ether. Simple as that. That's the superforce, chat. Okay, so Stan Deyo, guys. I was in the Stan Deyo space. Interesting guy. Not really sure what to think. I don't know, why is it that everybody that works on this gravity technology, everybody's all in on aliens. Oh, universal theory. Stan Deyo says multiple times that he's never seen an alien. But he also says that he was given schematics to build gravity technology or whatever from like the Greys. And I'm just sitting there and I'm going, what? I can't. I hope I'm not misinterpreting or misspeaking on his behalf. But what? It just doesn't make any sense to me. Why would, if you've never seen an alien, why would you think that you're building something that the aliens gave you? I can't wrap my brain around that. I did notice the JK Philly fan and Nathaniel were asking actual science questions of him, and I appreciate that. I think somebody actually asked him about the orbs syncing together, and I didn't quite get it. So instead, I'm just going to tell you guys what I think is going on. This is kind of a spoiler for the Tom Montauk interview, but not really. Is that when you're in phase, what does being in phase mean? Do I have a, let me see if I can find a graph. 1 second. So when we talk about waves being in phase, it's actually really important to understand. Actually, this is a good graph right here. How do I make this bigger? Well, that's not good. Okay, this will work. Okay, this is what, Kiora? Whatever this thing is. Okay, so you guys need to understand what waves being in phase means. It's extremely important. So the top line here, the waves are in phase, which means they're stacked on top of each other. You see over here, the second one, the waves are not in phase. And then on the last one, the waves are completely out of phase with one another. They're exactly opposite of one another. Now, there's a twist to this, chat. I'm actually going to go to MS Paint on this one. This is not the only way waves can be in phase. So this, hopefully everybody understands this. Top one, waves are in phase. Second one, waves are not in phase. Third one, waves are completely out of phase. Now, what happens in the top one? In the top one, the energy is amplified. It's amplified due to the fact that the waves are in phase. So the signal is increased. Now, let's look at this real quick. Oh, shit, where is it? There's another way for the waves to be in phase. Is this a squiggly line? Guys, I'm really bad at this. I'm just going to draw. Chat. Let me just see. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so first wave is like this. Actually, let's do it like this. So this is one wave. Now, how else can there be a wave that's in phase? Another way the wave can be in phase, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong on this. What if the wave is like this? So what if it's just like divided the wavelength is divided. It's not really great. So what I want to do is I want it to be like, it comes down like this. Yeah, like that. Get what I'm saying? The idea here being that the peaks all match. Yeah, my wave is drunk as hell. Can somebody tell me if I'm right on this? Frequency modulation. Yeah, okay, so this is frequency modulation. This is what I want to know. Now, what I'm getting at here is this. Imagine, okay, so this is not in phase. This is a harmonic. Okay, got it. In my drunk wave. What if the ether has this inner wavelength, this one that's the frequency is faster, wavelength is shorter on this inner one here. In fact, I should have done them in 2 colors. And then what if we create one that's harmonic to the ether, same amplitude? We create a wave that's harmonic with the wavelength of the ether itself, of the Zitrabuagong, of all the particles. Imagine everything out there. If I go full screen here, imagine everything out there is jiggling. And we find out what that frequency is they're jiggling at. And then we say, oh, let's make a different frequency, not the same frequency, but one that we modulate to match up with the peaks and troughs of that wave. What if that's how we can interact with the ether? Because one of the things that keeps coming up a lot is that you change your frequency, and at certain frequencies, it becomes harmonic. Like cymatics. Cymatics where these shapes all of a sudden start to form. It's like changing the dial on your radio and it's mostly static. And then all of a sudden you're listening to music. I'm starting to think that this is what we're getting at. Is that, if I zoom in. I'm starting to think that the way to interact with the ether is like this. You have your Planck wave is this. So this is my Planck wave. Oops. So my Planck wave has a certain frequency, right? And then the wave that I'm going to create, my artificial one, is going to have some frequency that's divisible or multiple of this. So if this is 1, let's just say this wavelength here is 1, then I'm going to make one that's a wavelength of 2. So you also theoretically could make it faster or whatever, but the simplest way would be, let me think about this. Something like this, right? Where it matches the peaks and troughs. That's where I think, this is how I think we can interact with the vacuum most efficiently. Maybe there's other ways to do it. I don't know. But this is how I visualize it, guys. This is also how I think the orbs are connected in the triangle. The orbs, their fields are crossing or something with the orbs. So like when we look at this orb video, like how are they staying like this, It has to clearly be connected to waves and the fields that are emanating from these orbs. They're somehow able to lock in with one another. Yeah, I guess resonance is the right word. I hear people say that. When I think about resonance, though, I think about like making a wine glass break. But sure, maybe that's it. So anyway, Stan Deyo went all in. He was all in on the alien stuff, but the thing that I wanted to know is how are those orbs resonating? One of the interesting things that he said, though, is as well was this idea that he had worked on plasma propulsion. Plasma propulsion? My only other criticism of the Stan Deyo space was that he was clearly very worried about being killed when he was working on this technology. I think he even disappeared and changed his name one time. Seems a little bit paranoid to me. Now, maybe this was a different time. It was the 70s, 80s, or 90s, right? We didn't have as good of forensics. Maybe. My view is, look, man, they want to take me out. I had a great run. It was worth it. No regrets. I think that you need to do the opposite. When you find some crazy shit where you're like, how is that real? don't immediately go into hiding. That's where you should be coming out and making yourself as visible as possible. So that if something does happen to you, because at the end of the day, somebody has this kind of technology, they're going to kill you if they want to kill you. You think you're hiding? No hiding from this technology. We have satellites that are mapping the whole planet. There's no hiding. The only question is which list in their playbook of ways to make you disappear are they going to decide to use today? Oh, I think we'll use the heart attack gun today. Why don't we give them some aggressive pancreatic cancer? Like, or let's just give him the plutonium smoothie. Just put some poison in his smoothie place that he goes to every day. There's no hiding from this. So I kind of thought that it was a little bit paranoid. And here's the thing, like, I think Stan Deyo is legit. I think he's legit, but man, you can see why it's been so difficult to get progress. Because you got this guy coming out being like, hey, I've been working on anti-gravity technology. I got recruited. And then next thing you know, he's talking about the gray aliens are giving us the schematics. And you're like, okay, well, have you seen one? No, I've never seen one. Okay. And you're like, and then I decided not to go back to work, and I decided to go hide out in the Australian outback and change my name. Okay. Is there a reason why? I was just like, decided it was too dangerous. You're like, okay. Here's the thing, man. Like, that's somebody that is going to be easy to discredit. That's going to be pretty easy to discredit, right? And I look at this and I go, man, Stan Deyo could be 100% legit, and still no one's going to believe a single thing he says. And this doesn't really surprise me, because this is kind of what people have told me, was that, like, some people don't find him very credible. And I'm like, oh, well, I can see why, But this is the crazy part, is once you've seen magical technology, you're like, oh, okay, magic exists. Oh, how have we been hiding magic? Oh, it turns out we've probably been killing people. So logically, his mind is going, okay, shit, I got assigned to work on this magical technology. I'm a liability. I would kill me if I was them. So that's why he goes to that. So from his perspective, I get it. But you can also now see why it's so easy to hide. It's just so easy to hide. Is that you've got people literally like panicking, freaking out. People won't believe anything if they don't see it with their own eyes. Academia completely under the thumb of the government. Academia is like the biggest scam in the world. I think that like 90% of PhDs do absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's crazy that academia is just the biggest fraudulent organization out there. Nothing has failed us more than the peer review process. Nothing. Sad. Okay, guys. Let me see here. Actually, I think we're going to call it. Man, we've been ranting for a while, chat. We've been ranting for a while. Okay, any last questions? Let me see if we got any other things here. And then I'm going to go watch some sci-fi, something weird. Enjoy an adult beverage or two. Okay, any other last questions you guys want? Can a wave move in a vortex fashion? Great question. What do you guys think? I think it can. Yeah, must be able to, right? I mean, I think a vortex is a kind of a wave. I mean, look at your tub when you pull the plug in your tub. Everybody's saying yes to answer your question. There you go. Oh, I don't want to spoil Sunday, guys. I don't want to spoil Sunday for you guys. Okay, this is what I'll say is that, guys, there's some pretty big science breakthroughs with Tom Montauk discussing plasma orbs. Like Tom is a smart fucking guy. Tom Montauk is a smart guy, and he did his homework. Like, rarely do I interview people and I'm like, this guy did his homework. He was bringing up in the Chamkin paper, he was bringing up Ken's shoulders, and he explains to me the difference between their models for how they produce the EVOs. And what I'll say is I kind of had an epiphany on the spot for whose model of EVO we were looking at in the MH370 videos. There's one model where the orb is expanding and contracting. And in another model, and that's how they stabilize it. They stabilize it through this expansion and contraction. In another model, they're using a vortex to stabilize the orb. Very interesting. Very interesting stuff. So I think the interview on Sunday is going to be really good, guys. I think you're going to enjoy it. I don't think we figured out exactly how to make plasma orbs, but yeah, Tom gave me some stuff to think about for sure. And I'm not just hyping it up. Like, it was actually just really, really interesting. And we talk about, we talk actually about, here's, you know what? I'm not going to spoil that part. I'm not going to spoil that part. What I'm going to say is this, as a tease, we might not be looking at a magnetic monopole in the MH370 video. I'm saying what I'm saying very specifically. We might not be looking at a magnetic monopole with this orb right here. Might not be a magnetic monopole. Could be something else. Something perhaps similar. So I want to hear your guys' opinions. The stream on Sunday is going to be at, that's a good question. I guess I'm going to do it at probably 1 o'clock Central Time, 2 o'clock Eastern Time. Actually, the first thing I'm going to do tomorrow is I'll make a post about it and say exactly what time. I realize since it's not live, it doesn't have to be at the same time. So sometime between noon and 2 o'clock Central is when it'll air. It's about 2 hours long. I was trying to cut it off at an hour and a half, but like we just kept having more and more stuff to say. So check it out, guys. Okay, any last questions? We actually go deep into the plasma stuff too. So we ask questions about, like, I ask him about, does there need to be a medium, or can it just like create plasma from the air? So great stuff. Actually, I need to talk to Tom Montauk again. Actually, like, it's been a year since I spoke to him again. I need to be talking to him more often. You know what? I'm gonna play this video again because I love it, man. So last thing, guys, this is not a cult. I'm not somebody people should be looking up to as a hero. I'm just a normal guy. I make mistakes, and like any normal human does. All I want for people is to look at the science that's presented and consider it for yourself. If it makes sense to you to look at the universe through this lens, because I'm convinced that it is the truth of our reality. And if that's the case, then I think people can come to the conclusion on their own. This is not a religion, exactly. I think that a lot of these UFO people are trying to build a religion about this stuff. And I don't like that. Here we go. God, I have a lot of Rick and Morty videos, chat. I'm going to play this other one.
To refuse his order, and I guarantee you're gonna die if you touch me, and there's no afterlife. Everything just goes black. Don't do it.
Whoa, Rick! Okay, what was that?
Death.
What kind?
Instant.
There was no sound. He just died.
Yeah, terrifying. It's a terrifying thing to watch happen. It's called a deterrent.
You couldn't just knock him out?
How is knocking out a deterrent? Everyone wants to be knocked out. Nobody wants to be dead.
You committed murder in the...
So I think about that clip a lot. Why do I think about that clip? Because everybody says, Ashton, why aren't you nicer to people? Why aren't you nicer to people? Because I need to shock people into waking the fuck up. Being nice to people is not going to accomplish shit. What's going to accomplish stuff is to make people question their inherent belief system that they think is immutable. That's what's going to wake people up. And I've seen it working. I have people that come out to me, they're like, I was rude to you, but you know what? I thought about it, and it's the only thing that makes any sense. Rick and Morty basically has a clip for every aspect of my life at this point. So the religion one is huge too, though.
Not what you guys keep.
So this is huge because we're talking about some deep shit, chat. We're talking about some pretty hardcore concepts that make us question our entire reality. And what I want is for none of you to be the ones that kill yourselves. We're not sugarcoating it here, guys. People are going to kill themselves when they realize the real nature of our reality and that we've been getting lied to. But none of you guys are going to do that because you've all been woken up. You've all been woken up to realize that you're smarter than all this shit. You're not going to be gaslit. You're not going to get lied to by the media. This doesn't make me a savior. This doesn't make me the Pope. It just means you understand science. That's it.
Thinking I'm a religious leader. This isn't a religion. This is actual truth. I'm a scientist in real life, but this isn't real life. This is a video game. You at least understand that much, right? This is a video game.
But you said I'm your grandson!
I'm saying everyone here, everyone in this world but me. You're all my grandson. Your name is Morty. You're stuck in a video game, and I'm here to get you out.
What about me? Am I your grandson?
I just said everyone is.
Wow, incredible.
Okay, but don't react like that. It's not a religion. This is what is happening. You and me and your sister are at an arcade called Blips and Chits. It's been taken over by terrorists, the power went out, the game restarted, and your identity has been splintered into all the non-player characters. So I jacked in as Roy, that's the player character, to get you, my grandson Morty, out of the game before it's over and you die. Okay, question over here.
Am I your grandson?
Jesus, yes! Every single one of you is 1/5 billionth of Morty. All of you, collectively, are Morty. Look, I don't want to seem impatient, but there's actually a lot more that we have to get done. So if this is how hard it's going to be, we are in a lot of trouble. Know that.
Guys, I think about that clip like every single day. I think about it like every single day. I see this stupid shit on social media all the time. And I go, there's no fucking chance we are going to survive 0 point energy. No chance in hell. We're going to definitely destroy ourselves. And I look at this and I go, man, I'm just out here trying to explain real physics and quantum mechanics to people. And people just can't believe it. They just can't believe it's real because the implications are that huge. They can't believe it's real. I go, man, this is how hard it's going to be. Like, I gotta explain how our satellite systems work. I gotta explain how it's impossible that a plane can disappear. I gotta explain the nature of reality itself. I gotta teach people quantum mechanics and 0 point energy just so that they'll believe 2 perfectly in sync military videos with coordinates in them of the real location of an airplane that hasn't been found for 10 years. Shit, chat. We might be cooked. We might actually just be cooked, chat. Like, that's why I think about that clip a lot. Not just the religious part, but like, it is really hard to get people to just accept observable reality. Observable reality is a bridge too far for a lot of people. Ashnizzle is our clone created by the CIA to keep everybody looking up instead of down, where all the subterranean cryptids live. This is a true fact. This is a true fact. I am a clone of Bob Lazar. Yep, just like CIA agent Ron Pandolfi was alluding to. Created by the CIA. They aged me up 42 years. And they want me, I'm trying to force people to look up at dumb outer space. So stupid. When instead, I'm distracting you from what's down. Look at that. Look at all that. Where the crab people are at. Crab people, crab people. The crab people are going to come out. Turns out they had 0 point energy all along. They were absorbing the energy just from the earth itself or something. I don't know. Don't think about it. Shut up. Guys, that is actually a pretty legit narrative. I like it better than the alien narrative. I think we're going to go with that. I am a Bob Lazar clone sent back. No, wait. Forward in time? I don't know. Something in time. Bob Lazar clone by the CIA to distract people from the subterranean crab people. It's actually kind of genius. Kind of genius. I don't even hate it. I like it. Okay, guys, I think that's it. I got to go do some other stuff where I don't have to think for a while. Maybe play some Minecraft. I want you guys to know that I love you all. No homo. Maybe homo. Live however you want to live. And that you guys have pushed me to keep going with this, even though there's been many times where I thought, man, this is too much work. Why am I doing this? why am I bothering with this? But so many of you, especially the ones that are like people that are in like aerospace and stuff, where like, you know, way more than even I know. Like a lot of people might watch my streams know more about the stuff than I know. But when you reach out to me and you tell me like, hey, Ashton, like you made me question the work I do. Like that, those are the comments that keep me going, guys. So love you, MH370X. You guys are awesome. Check out the interview on Sunday, and let's chat on Monday about it. We'll do a debrief. Have a great night, everybody. Peace out, MH370X.
Out in the fields where the skies are wide, talking about a journey through the cosmic ride. Einstein and Thorne, they set the stage for a trip through time across the space age. Wormholes connect distant points in space, traversable paths to a far-off place. No black holes pull, no crushing weight, just a cosmic tunnel to a distant gate.
Talking wormholes, stargates, negative energy, travel through the cosmos, it's our destiny. MH370, where did it go? Bowling 777 through a wormhole flow. We're talking wormholes, stargates, negative energy, travel through the cosmos, it's our destiny. MH370, where did it go? Bowling 777 through a wormhole flow.
Exotic matter, negative energy's the key to stabilize the wormhole for you and me. Quantum vacuum squeezed so tight, creating conditions for this wondrous flight. Static fields and lasers in the lab they play, generating forces in a new kind of way. Gravitational squeezing, Casimir's force, negative zones we need to stay the course.
Talking wormholes, stargates, negative energy, travel through the cosmos, it's our destiny. MH370, where did it go? Boeing 777 through a wormhole flow.
Thin shell formalism plates so fine, spherical geometry we realign. Energy conditions that we must defy. For a stable wormhole, let's give it a try. Unknown forces balancing the plate, creating the throat, open the gates, from Earth to the stars in a single bound. A shortcut through space profound. Engineers and dreamers hold the key to future worlds and what we could be. With science in hand, we forge ahead through the cosmic paths that we now tread.
We're talking wormholes, stargates, negative energy, travel through the cosmos, it's our destiny. MH370, where did it go? Boeing 777 through a wormhole flow.
From the fields to the stars, we break the chains. Understanding the universe, we make the gains. Lil Hula Crunk shines, bringing truth to light. Through his music, we'll explore the night. With wormholes and stargates, our path is clear.